I call this meeting of the Town Council for the City of Wausau to get to order, and welcome everyone that's here. So glad to see such an increased crowd than what we have had in the past, and we welcome all of you and hope that you will learn from our experience tonight, and maybe even add to it. If you would, please stand for the invocation. Remain standing for the pledge of allegiance, and will lead us in the flag is here to my right. Our God, we thank you for this day, the blessings of life that you've enhanced us with, that you've chosen to water the earth again. We thank you for the opportunity to serve. The scripture says that he that will be great among us will be servant of all, and help us to have a servant's heart tonight. We ask that every deliberation would be kindly affectionate one towards another, that every opinion would be respected properly. We ask tonight that those things that we do and say would be in the best interest of our town. We ask it all in your name. Amen.
Amen. Attention, salute, pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
If we have anyone in the audience who would like to address the council and they're not on the agenda, we have a sign-in sheet right here. If you just come and sign in, so we'll be able to call your name and know what you're here for. If you're in the audience and are not on the agenda, but you want to speak, if you would do that. All right. First item on our agenda is the approval of the agenda, or the consent agenda. The approval of the agenda, the minutes, the financial bank statements, the fire department minutes. Do we have fire department minutes?
We don't.
Okay, my Luke did not have any. And not to pursue the annexation of Sunny Hills to the Wausau water system, and agenda and animal registration discussion for August meeting. Is there anything on the consent agenda that any member of the council would like to pull off or to discuss in greater detail? Yes, sir. Okay. Do you want to discuss the annexation of the water system in there? Okay. If we're going to discuss it, I think we need to put it on the consent agenda. What's the pleasure of the council? That we pull that?
Yeah,
because he wants to discuss it. The consent agenda, we vote on that because it's kind of a standard procedures thing we do. We got the minutes, things like that. But he wants to discuss one of the items, so we need to put it over that so we can discuss it. Is that acceptable?
Yes.
Okay. Can I have a motion to do that?
I'll make a motion. We go ahead and put it off the agenda.
Okay. Motion, is there a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion of the motion? How do you vote, Mr. Park?
Yes.
Mr. Wausau? And the chair votes yes. All other items on the consent agenda being agreeable, the chair would accept a motion to adopt the consent agenda.
I'll make that motion.
We have a motion. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion on the motion? How do you vote, Mr. Wausau?
Yes.
Mr. Park?
Yes.
And the chair votes yes. Okay, we have a public hearing now. We were going to recess our meeting. We're not going to leave the room or anything like that. We just have to do some formalities. We're going to recess this meeting, and we're going to open our public hearing. The public hearing is on the closure of Jefferson Street from the right-of-way of Glen Avenue north 300 feet, and the purpose of the public hearing is to get input from the public. Is there anyone who would like to address the closure of Jefferson Street from Glen Avenue north 300 feet? If you don't know where it is, it's the end of this.
and I have an arrow there, that's Jackson Street. Jackson
It
Street.
is Jefferson's on.
That's right. I made a mistake. Wow.
How's it advertised? Is it advertised Jackson?
The agenda is, yes.
Okay. If it's advertised correctly, then this is, we'll go ahead. Jefferson Street is the street that runs here, goes north and makes a left turn back toward Highway 77. And the petitioner is asking that to close the opening right of way from there, the open right away from there, 300 feet north. That's what we're going to be discussing. Is there any discussion from the council?
Jackson Street.
Yeah, Jackson Street.
Jackson. Said Jimmy. Yeah. No, it's Jackson. Yes. Thank you.
Sure.
Thank you again. We just said that, didn't we?
Could I interrupt you there? I want to go back to the last thing. He can't hear very well. Did you table that motion? Is that what you did?
No, we took it off the consent agenda and we'll discuss it later in the meeting.
Okay, because he couldn't hear what you were saying.
I'm sorry.
Partially, that's fine.
I'm sorry.
Thank you.
You're not talking into your mic. Yours is turned that way, away from your face.
Well, I can't see where it is.
Why don't you come sit over here, that way you'll be able to hear me.
I'll call your office.
Okay. Okay, if you're not hearing us, that's not good. We need to be heard by everyone. So what we're doing. If you want to discuss this, we're going to discuss it later.
At another meeting.
No, tonight.
Tonight.
Oh, tonight?
No, tonight.
Oh, okay.
Oh, tonight?
Yeah.
I didn't hear.
Okay.
Yes.
Here, I got it.
Yeah. Come sit
That way
close.
you'll be in the range of the speaker.
Yeah, come sit close.
You go ahead, I'm not.
Get easy chair.
You're good.
I don't want to sit on.
You're fine. You're fine.
He probably goes to church all the time and sits behind other people.
Okay. I apologize for the interruption. It's, this is Jasper. Mr. Carter has asked for that closure. Any discussion on the council? Any discussion from members of the audience? Any input from members of the audience? Hearing none, we'll close the public hearing. We'll reopen the regular council meeting. And do you have that for us to vote on at a particular point, or we're ready to vote now?
We can ready to vote now to close the public hearing on that. I don't think I have it on there.
And this is the first public hearing. We have to
Yeah,
do
we
this a
still have
second.
to advertise and do a second public hearing on the resolution at the next meeting.
We will have to, for members of the council, or Bill, I don't know if we've done this since you've been on the council, but after we've had the public hearing and there's no input, we have to advertise in the newspaper. The expenses are paid by the petitioner. And at our next meeting, we have to adopt a resolution that carries out the action of closing. Okay? Okay. The chair would entertain a motion that we approve the petition and vote to advertise.
I'll make the motion.
We have a motion. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
We have a motion and a second. How do you vote, Mr. Carter?
Yes.
Wausau. The chair votes yes. Washington County SWAT. Come on, Mr. Brown, or whomever.
I'm here for support.
You're here for support, okay?
The
Good.
people that are, we speak.
And we look forward to seeing y'all every year.
I've already told her it's normal to be nervous, but she won't find a more supportive board than this group right here. Come on out.
We certainly appreciate y'all coming and keeping us informative from time to time.
Thank you for having us. Good evening, everyone. My name is Phoenicia Russ. I'm from the Washington County Tobacco-Free Partnership, and I'd like to go for the mission statement and just some talking points and some information for you guys. To create a tobacco-free atmosphere for Washington County, to improve the health of Washington County residents by significantly reducing tobacco use, to discourage the first-time use of tobacco, to educate the public on all health issues as they relate to tobacco, and to act as an advocate for positive reform. The partnership attends public events such as the Possum Festival, the Christmas Fest, and Rock the Falls. They encourage these events to be tobacco-free with their presence. The partnership is working on implementing tobacco-free signage at community parks and city ordinances for the parks to be tobacco-free. The next partnership meeting is September 5th, 2023 at 3:30, and it will be held at the Washington County Health Department in the conference room.
And now the star is Hannah.
Hello, my name is Hannah Perez. I come from Washington County, and this is what SWAT has been doing this school year. SWAT has started new clubs in Washington County schools, such as Vernon High School, Vernon Middle School, Shipley High School, and Washington County Christian School, which hasn't had a club for the past 13 years. SWAT has also placed cards on display that read, "I'm not a lab rat, I am," in cafeterias for Washington County schools. Students put titles such as brother, sister, writer, and athletes for titles, and etc. SWAT has also put up scarecrows that have many different scenarios, from toddlers with secondhand smoke all the way up to money-hungry tobacco executives. SWAT also attended the Scottish Festival to hand out tobacco cessation materials for people who wish to quit smoking. SWAT also participated in the National Health Week called Red Ribbon Week. The County SWAT Club made dress-up days. For example, dress up in pairs to pair up against drugs and tobacco, and wear sunglasses because your future is too bright for drugs/tobacco. The SWAT County also took care of tobacco litter and everyday litter at the Shivers Park for World No Tobacco Day. SWAT students also interviewed their peers for vaping usage and history. Their peers gave great insight on the usage of electronic cigarettes and the effects that it has on the teens' everyday life. SWAT students also went over intercoms at their schools and read out smokeless tobacco information through Chew Week. That's what SWAT has done for this past year, and we would like to do more in the future. Thank you.
We do appreciate Hannah coming and giving an update, because as you heard, some of the things we all know about the vaping problems that are in our schools with vaping. And so what they did, they had actual SWAT students interview other students who had been maybe given citations by the resource officers of vaping. Instead of bringing more punishment, they want to find out, okay, why are you doing this? And then they help offer them the cessation classes for vaping and trying to get help. But one of the things we found out, a lot of times they won't open up to an adult like they will one of their peers of their own age. And so that's been something really important that some of our SWAT students was doing that I just want to make sure that we understood here today. So do y'all have any questions?
Hannah, I don't know where people gather this information that all the time. They got these factoids or something like that. I read not too long ago, didn't know that you were going to be here tonight. I read probably in the last month in these little bullet that Joe Cool and the Marlboro Man are still two of the most iconic advertising, recognized advertising figures of all times. And we remember vaping is fairly new. I guess it's probably 10 years old now, I'm not sure. And what everybody just jumped over their leg to get to it, because that was the answer to it. And now it's turning out to be hidden dangers as well. I appreciate what you're doing and what the club is doing, what SWAT's doing.
Well, thank y'all very much for letting us come and update y'all. And like I really meant that y'all have always been very open to SWAT and Tobacco Free Partnership, and letting us come and brief y'all on the updates and all. And we're looking forward to coming back again.
Anybody on the council have anything personal?
I just wondered, who funds y'all?
Actually, years ago, there was a tobacco settlement. Once tobacco was proven that it was cancerous.
Just like you see advertised on television.
Yes,
Okay.
exactly.
They have to spend that money.
Exactly. There was a lawsuit, and they figured again that one of the best ways to spend, instead of just giving out the money, but one of the best ways to spend that money from the lawsuit is to actually put it in tobacco prevention.
Yeah, okay.
And so by doing that, I think every county in the state is required to have at least one club. Washington County has how many clubs? Has 5 clubs. Those clubs are funded and sustained by tobacco money, so the industry is actually, so it's not public funds, it's not tax money, the industry is actually funding the prevention, which turns out to be, was a good, and SWAT has been around. I know I have a young lady, a daughter who's about to be 40 years old, and she was in SWAT when she was in middle and high school, and they would do prevention. So it's been around a long time. It's actually, I think the money is mandated, I believe now, by the Constitution, where it must go. So that's where the funding comes from.
Yeah. Thank you, sir.
Thank y'all very much, and thank you, Hannah.
Would members of the audience like to address the SWAT? I'm sure they'll answer your questions. Thank you again.
And most of these young people here have been out all day long, so we're going to be excusing you guys. Thank y'all very much for letting us come. And Hannah's mom is here supporting us too, so
Thank you, Mr. Brown.
thank y'all very much.
Is the thing with Steve separate from the other thing?
It can be moved down with the other employees, but it has to be on the agenda.
Okay, Steve, you're next on the agenda.
Well, after, we're talking about the text that was sent to you a couple weeks ago. After reading it, I don't understand where my name comes involved in this, because I don't have anything to do with the maintenance department. I don't have anything to do with the grass, the maintenance, or anything up there. So I was wondering, how does my name get involved when that ain't nothing for me to do? I don't understand.
It's in here.
At one point, I was involved.
I'm thinking that probably the writer did not know that you were not involved.
Well, at one point, I was involved, and I was taken out of that involvement 2 years ago. I don't think they knew that.
Yeah, and I think that when we talk about recreation building down there,
Right.
that the appearance of it and all like that surely has to be part of the recreation. And I may stand corrected on that because Margaret said that we did take action, and I don't
Yeah.
recall the action, did not recall the action when about this, that our maintenance department would do the mowing down there, and
Right.
we're not doing that anymore.
No, that was 2 years ago.
But I think it was sent to you as kind of a heads
Right.
up that we
Well, that's the reason I
need
was
something
asking.
going on in the.
If I need to be involved somehow, I want to get involved. I mean, I don't want to be blindsided and say, well, wait a minute. I mean, if I need to put a work order in to Miss Marcy for the maintenance to do it, I'm all for that. I just need to know that that's my job description so I can start doing that. I ain't got a problem with that. Miss Marcy loves writing work orders. And she knows my numbers by heart. So, I mean, so my question to the council and y'all, do y'all want me to start getting involved and make sure it gets the work order done so we can keep it up and neat? And if we get behind, I can bring it forward to one of y'all and say, hey, look, we might need to get a prisoner up there too, and we might, that's what I'm asking. Do y'all want me to start getting involved and making sure it's upkeep?
Steve, I thought you did it at one time.
I did. Y'all took it away 2 years ago. You
Yeah.
gave it back to the maintenance department. And then y'all hired 2 people.
When we
And-
hired the part-time maintenance person, y'all removed the grass cut and the maintenance of the park from the
That's when Dallas,
recreation.
when Dallas was hired,
Yeah.
that's when they took it back over because we had 2 people and we didn't need it anymore.
Okay.
But my question to y'all is, do y'all want me to go ahead and start getting involved? I mean, and then, make work orders up and stuff that needs to be done up there, so there's a paper trail.
Remind me again, and you probably can find some minutes, and I'm not questioning the accuracy of what you're saying, but why did we take it, the rec area in particular, because we hired the second man, or the second person. Why did we, do you remember the discussion on that? It may
The
be,
discussion
maybe
was
time.
that the George Rogers Park looked so bad, and, you know, the rec director was part-time, and we had maintenance people that were here every day, and that was where that began at, and it ended with the, maintenance of the parks going under. And I'll look those minutes up for next month, I'll let you, or put in your package.
That sounds reasonable, that sounds like what we would have done.
I think Miss West actually made the motion for that.
Then, was you through? I didn't mean to interrupt. Let me, tell me where you think the direction of the recreation department is going now. We don't have any organized activities taking place.
We got flag football, sign up started last week.
Okay,
Soccer will be at the end of the summer, and then we'll go right back into baseball, softball.
okay.
So we do have activities. Now, if y'all want to remove me, I mean, I'm not gonna sit, y'all, I work for y'all. I mean, but.
We understand that better than you do.
Yeah, but we have started sign-ups for flag football, and soccer follows in August, September, and October, and then we start sign-ups in softball and baseball in January. But we didn't have enough kids to make one team this year, and we've already discussed that. And we'll next
So
year.
how many people makes up a soccer team, Steve?
Soccer team, 10 or 11. We can.
Well, there's 10, you couldn't get 10 for softball. And
We got 23 people total, and we average 80 to 100 kids per year, and we got 23 sign-up this year.
You done got 23
No, that
signed?
was the last season, baseball and softball, we had 23 kids sign up, and out of them 23, 6 of them were T-ball. And you have 4 different age groups for softball and baseball, plus your T-ball, and we did not have enough to even put 2 age groups together to make a team.
But you said all them problems were worked out.
Yeah, well, we're gonna get more advertisement, we're gonna do more. We got a bunch of kids that didn't realize that we were doing softball and baseball after the advertisement. I mean, we don't know what from year to year what we're gonna get. I mean,
No.
like Chipley got over 400, they had to cut it off a half year.
Yeah.
But the problem is we have maps now. Chipley has a map, Bonifay has a map, Vernon and Wausau's put in the same map. And then you have Cottondale on the map, and Graceville's on the map. Now, you cannot cross your map to go play. And they enforced that this year, and that had a lot to do with it. If you cross the line to go play, they can force you not to play in that town. Why they do it, I do not know. I think every kid in this county, every kid in this state should have the right to play where they want to.
Yes.
But with the Little League, that's not the case. Softball's the same way. You have a map, and you gotta stay inside your map. Wausau's problem is we don't have a school. So Vernon has a school. So even though they live in Sunny Hills, which is Wausau's map, because they go to school in Vernon, they're allowed to go to Vernon and play. Same way with Chipley. If they go to school in Chipley, they're allowed to go to Chipley and play, even though they live in Wausau some.
Yeah.
See, that's where we get the data and the sticks on that.
Yeah.
Because we're the only one out of Graceville, Cottondale, everything does not have a school. But we have 80 to 100 people that have signed up every year since I've been rec director almost 5 years. And now, this was the first year we only had 23 people sign up. Now, I don't know what next year's gonna bring.
No, we none do.
You know, we don't know, but we can only do so much. I mean, I can't go out there and force the parents to bring them to sign up.
No.
You know, if I could, I would, because they need to be out there playing, socializing, and exercising.
Yeah.
But I've done everything I could.
Yeah,
And you can ask Ms. Martin.
Yeah, I never did know where you got all them people, but you did good. That's
Well,
what
we did
just
good.
don't
I mean, we
know
did
now,
good.
you know.
And, you know, it's just the point where it's hit and miss. I mean, I had some people say, oh, we didn't know you played, we had to go to Vernon. I cut it off a week before to give them kids a chance to go to Vernon and Chipper. I had to call up there and ask, hey, let these kids play.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't their fault. You know, it wasn't our fault. It was the sign. We have a town hall to sign up. I did emails, I did online, and Miss Marcy took the application.
Yeah.
I mean, I've done everything I could.
Yeah, I know you put more money in it than you got paid out from the town.
That's not a problem, John.
Well, I know
That
it
has
ain't
to do
with you.
that has
I know,
nothing to do with
no,
it.
I'm sure it ain't with you, or that,
But
Steve.
I don't care, y'all gotta pay me, it ain't the money, it's the kids
That's
and
right.
activity.
Well, that's a good fault there.
I mean,
That's true.
You've said that from the beginning. I think probably what Mr. Wilson has getting at is we need to evaluate, I think it was first of this week even, well, it was the day that we were out here doing the interviews. We started counting, just recently letting our minds run up and down the streets, and there's about 4 houses in Wausau, maybe, that's got children in it. So the service that we're providing is not for Wausau,
Right.
for the most part. But anything that we do for children, wherever they live, is not a wasted thing. It's just that we need to make sure that our program is producing something that's going to be viable, sustainable, and is going to be used.
Well, that's what we've always done. I mean, we've tried to get the kids inside the city limits, even around to come and play. A lot of times we have to start, and they start seeing us play, and then they want to join. I mean, Wausau's a special place. I mean, we're a small town. A lot of us live outside the city limits, but feel like we're part of the city limits. I mean, I don't live here anymore. I live down, but I still consider from Wausau. People ask me where I'm from. I'm from Wausau. It's not, you got a kid, it ain't got to be blood, you know, to be your child. I mean, I consider Wausau my home regardless of where I live.
Right.
And I consider that rec department is I'm going to do everything I can to help these kids, to help the parents, to help everybody, give them something to do. I can't make them do, but if they want to, we're there.
Mr. Parks, you got anything to add?
No.
Okay. So you're addressing the email that came.
Yes, it's
Sorry,
one text.
and
I don't know
anyway,
anything about it.
we got it printed here. And again, I think the writer probably did not know that you weren't part of the
Right.
maintenance thing.
Right.
And
Well, that's the reason I'm here, because if I need to be if I need to be help on that too,
yeah,
I have no problem with that. I have no problem when the grass starts getting ankle deep to say, hey, Miss Marcy, the grass is going to need to be cut in the next week or so.
my concern is if we asked Steve to take back the maintenance down the grass and the grounds at the ball fields and the Crossing Palace, and then we do have a program that breaks loose and we've got children in there again, or we're going to be just as willing to put it back on the maintenance. You know, he's gone several months now without much to do. I think that's a fair statement. And,
Oh, yeah, I go months without
and
anything.
in all the spring, he could have been mowing. He didn't mow because we had transferred that responsibility to
Right.
somebody else. So where does the council want that responsibility to be? What do we want to do? Neither he nor the other two gentlemen, unless we give them good directions, and we can't hold them responsible for not doing what they're supposed to, or something like that. So we need to decide up here what we want done. Hearing nothing, I will assume that we want the maintenance department to continue to do this and for Steve to continue to try to build a recreation program. What are you saying? You think that's what we want to do?
Steve, recreation, maintenance people do the maintenance work.
Okay, maintenance includes mowing and picking up the trash and the things like that. Is that what you're saying, Mr. Wilson?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
I think Steve's done a good job, but I just don't think if we don't have nothing going on, we don't need to be paying out money
that's,
Can I address that right quick?
And I know.
No, let me address that.
No, let me
wait,
say
wait.
this, let me say this, Steve. I know it ain't money we use, okay? but we need to tighten up some of the budget.
Okay, I understand that.
We're.
But you want to take the hours I work during the
No,
season
no, I don't-
and add it up to what I'm paid per year, I guarantee you owe me money.
I know we do.
So
but
I
I'm
get
just
paid in
saying.
salary for a reason. I don't get paid by the hour. I'll clock in, but y'all pay a lot more than me if I clocked in per hour. You pay me a small salary, which is $515 a month. Recreation department everywhere around here gets $20,000 or more.
Yeah, I know they do in Vernon.
They
Okay.
get chipping, burning, it doesn't matter.
Okay, I
When
ain't
they're
gonna
baseball,
say
during
nothing.
baseball and softball, no, let me address it here. In baseball and
Yeah,
softball
go
season,
ahead.
I'll put 200 or 300 hours in a month. Yeah, I got months that I don't do nothing, but if you take the hours I put in for that salary, when we do have kids and we do have a season, and put it towards the hours I don't work when it's off season, I give a lot more than what you pay. A lot more than that $11 an hour minimum wage. Now, we discussed this before about putting us on a time clock. And Jeff said, I'm on salary. I can't be put on
I don't
time.
agree
But
with
you're
time.
saying that little
I didn't say
$500,
that.
that 3 or 4 months, I don't do nothing? But how about that 4 or 5 months that I'm out there night and day with these kids? I'm out there 7 days a week.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know where the money come from you, because you hit me when I first come in here about money.
Who did?
You did, before we even started it. You didn't ask this morning, first thing you said, it must be easy money. Now, you brought up money here. Now, we want to go hours that I do work during the season, compared to hours I don't work. That's the reason why y'all pay me a salary.
Okay.
I mean, if you want to go to every town around here and see what their recreation department does, it's 3 to 4 times more than I make.
Yeah.
So I don't know get where this money business is coming into effect. They shouldn't even be a part of it. Because if you get to brass knuckles, I work for a lot less than minimum wage.
Yeah, you do. No, let me just explain something to you, Steve. You know, we get calls, said y'all the stupidest people on borough council you ever seen. You pay people to not to do nothing, you know?
Okay, well.
But see, that's outside talking to me, okay? And you can understand where I come from. But no, but I'm just saying, okay, I agree with you. You do great. But I'm just saying, we face, when we walk out, people saying, oh, y'all the stupidest people, y'all pay people to do nothing.
Tell me who you pay to do nothing.
I know
Tell
you
me who
don't,
you pay
but
to
I'm
do
just
nothing.
saying,
Because this man right here work, this man right here work, and when we do have a season, I work. I don't complain, I don't gripe.
No.
I do what I'm supposed to do. I take care of the kids, I take care of the department, and I don't make any money. And what money I do get, I give back, but that's not the point. The point is you're sitting up there, you're accusing me, oh, we need to reduce your salary. Fine, y'all.
I didn't say
don't care.
that. I didn't
Vote me
say
out.
that, Steve. You know, I didn't say that.
But you just said it, right there. I can rewind the tape. When he finished it, I can rewind that tape right there where exactly you said we shouldn't pay you when you're not doing nothing.
We
But
shouldn't pay
listen.
nobody when they ain't doing nothing. That's
A
normal.
salary is for a reason. You won't pay me by the hour when we do have rec?
Okay,
I don't-
Roger, they'll go ahead.
Yeah, I don't think we'll get any more of this, Steve.
No.
Here's the thing. We got options.
Yes, sir, you do.
One of them is not even to have a recreation program.
Yes, sir.
We haven't had anybody come through here in the last 2 years demanding a program. The parents will come to the banquets when it's over with, they come at the end of the season, they'll go down and watch the kids play and things like that, and they're supportive, but nobody has requested to have one. And we've had a mass exodus this past year of all those students that did come and things like that. I'm still concerned about that. As a matter of fact, I'm somewhat upset about that. The transition that we went through last year and how that all of our resources were able to leave here. I don't understand altogether what happened there. And as far as the salary, you knew what it was when you took it.
Oh, I have no problem with that.
And if we had a full-time person, that full-time person would be here
But I have no problem with the
4 or 5
salary.
days a week, and they would be making that $20,000 a year, whatever it
But
is.
I have no problem with the
So-
salary. I'm just
so-
saying the salary covers the whole year, not
Well,
just for.
The thing about it is, maybe $500, $550, $540, whatever you said it was. It may be that, but if there's not something produced in return, that's $6,000 a year that can stay in the city's budget.
Right, I mean, y'all want to make a motion to remove me, to remove the
I don't
director?
think
That's y'all-
that's
that's
what-
y'all business.
I don't think that's what the thing was about.
Well, when he brought up the money, and I should be paid, but I mean, all right.
Yeah.
Steve, let me say this, it's not about you.
It's-
I mean,
Right.
we talking about a position. We ain't
Right, but-
talking about
But I'm
an
trying to explain to you,
individual.
that position is for the whole year. That position, when we do have baseball and softball, when we do have soccer, when we do have, the hours are put in.
They sure are. no, I
And
agree
then
with
if you
that.
take them hours put in and the overtime and everything, and you spread it for the months and not work, it all evens out for the whole year.
Yeah.
I come in here, we only have baseball and softball. That was it. Now, I put soccer in here. I've tried other things in here. And it's all year, just not one season. Now, it was just the spring season. I'm trying to do a summer and a fall back into the spring. Now, I could have been like the past rec direction, just come in here for baseball and softball and do nothing the rest of the year.
What are you doing now to enlist, to recruit that we didn't?
Well, we posted on-
Wait, you didn't hear my question.
Okay.
What are you doing now to recruit that we didn't do in the spring?
Well, I'm doing the same thing. I'm advertising. I'm advertising on social. I've got flyers up in my business. I'm telling everybody that comes in they got kids. I'm doing everything I can. I mean, that one person can do. Now, as a community, I mean, we need help. I mean, I can only socialize so much. I mean, most everyone of y'all got Facebook. I've got it posted on County Wausau Rec. The only person that ever shares it is Mark. I
See,
mean,
when we came to the spring, the baseball, softball season, a decision was made that we're not gonna have it before I knew anything about it. I don't know about anybody on the council.
we just didn't have no people
We-
sign up.
But that decision was made and all of our children was gone to Vernon.
We had 20 people.
So with those, I understand. But looks to me like you could take 20 people, divide it by 2 and put 10 on each
Can.
side, and they can come down there and play every week.
You can't have a 4-year-old.
Wait. We don't have to be part of the league.
No, you can't have a
We go
4-year-old.
down on Sunday afternoon and play. We go down any time and play. We got to get parents behind us. We got to
Right.
get children available. And we could be having something. We may not be part of the league, but we could have had something. I want to know what that we can do differently, and I'm not blaming you. I want you to hear me. What are we doing differently, and what can we do differently? And what about all the children that went to, are they not gonna play soccer or football or whatever it is
Oh, yeah.
at Vernon?
I mean, we'll have plenty of soccer.
Are we gonna draw them back?
Yes, I mean, we'll have plenty of soccer. I mean, soccer's a whole different league. You have kids that play soccer, play football. The flag football is because you got kids that do not want to play tackle, that will play flag. So yeah, we're doing, flag football will be in-house only. We won't be out playing burning or anything, it'll be in-house only. We'll put up the team, 7 to 10 kids, and there'll be 5-on-5. That way, all the kids get a chance to play, all the kids get a chance to play here, and everybody's doing everything. We'll use the new park that we got the light up, and then we'll use both parks. When soccer comes, we'll still have our teams. We've averaged 3 teams a year for the last few years, and maybe this year we'll have more. And then we interact there with Chipley, and then down here, we do well we're doing what we can. With advertisements there, social media's there. I've got flyers out. I'm doing what I can,
And we want to help you.
and I need the help.
When will we know how to sign? When will we know if we got 10 signed up or 100?
I haven't talked to Miss Marcy this week, find out how many signed up this week, but we're sign-ups is the end of the month, till the 30th.
To the 30th?
Yes, sir.
So let me ask, well, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. Well, let me ask if you don't have none signed up, we really don't need a recreation director the rest of the year, is that correct?
Well, we got soccer in August, that we will
In
have
August?
3 teams. Yeah, August and September and October in soccer.
Okay,
And we've had it for the last 2 years.
okay.
And while it doesn't parallel what the school, colleges, and professionals do, if you got some children that's playing soccer, why can't they play soccer all year long? If they play soccer, I guarantee you they'll play every week. They won't just play.
Yeah, I mean, we can have a spring.
If we can't have softball and baseball and everywhere, why can't we keep on playing soccer?
Well, we can. I mean, we can, and actually tell you the truth, and I doubt we are not gonna have it, Steve, but if we don't, we can have a target, and I guarantee you we'll probably have enough when we ain't got to go nowhere, we can stay here. Because you have kids that love soccer. Mr. Leo, his kids, he coached the big team that took third place overall. I mean, that's all they do. I mean, that's all they live for is soccer. And you got a lot of them kids, that's all they do. I got 2 kids that come in the other night, asked me when soccer starts. You know, they're just little bitty, they're ready. They want to get out there and run around and kick the ball. And yes, if something happens, we don't get enough, which I think we will, but if we don't, we can do soccer in the spring. We can have something.
I share your concern, Mr. Wolfenham, that the perception, at least of the public, is that we're paying $540 in Wausau money. How much?
$515.
$515. Whatever we're paying Steve is not a lot of money, or any consideration. I share your concern, and I got a two-pronged about it here. We got to be judicious and cautious about the city's budget. But if we discontinue the Parks Department, there's no guarantee that whatever sprouted up like a mushroom and burning is going to stay there. When that goes away, what will happen? My concern is if we discontinue a recreation department, then all of a sudden we got people that are in here want to know, well, you used to have a ball field, why don't you have one now, something like that. We're going to try to reinstitute it again. I just, it's a swirl to me. Mr. Park, any comments?
Not right now.
Are we satisfied with Steve's answer to the email? Well, we either satisfied or we aren't now, gentlemen. Are we satisfied with Steve's answer to the email?
We're satisfied with it.
You're satisfied with it?
Yeah,
You're satisfied with it?
yes.
Thank you for coming, Steve. And I did respond to the writer, and the issues that she did mention have been addressed. Our maintenance people have addressed those.
Yeah, I went up there today.
And Rupert said, while you're here, and it's not on the agenda, while you're here, what's the status of have you worked with the Garden Club on the status of moving the plaque and?
That will get done this month.
Okay.
That will be put in before we even get topsoil, that will be put in place.
Okay, well,
But that's my agenda for next week, so I can get that done.
Where are you gonna move to?
Right there, when you walk in, you know, you got that center place, got the 2 doors. Right there, right dead center, when you walk in the front door. So everybody sees it.
On one side, Gate Street.
Yeah, you know where the front 2 doors is, where the bathrooms are? Right dead center, right there. So when everybody gets there, they see it when they're going into it, when it's finished. You know, they'll still see it now, but they'll see it, they have to see it when they go in.
That's a very visible side.
Yes.
Nobody's talking about moving the flag to out from the red fences there. Thank you, Steve. Thank you.
Can we address one more part of that email, or the email that we got, the text? The discussion was on the Possum Palace being 2 different colors. We have no funds, no income coming in, no nothing to be able to paint that, nor do we have the manpower to paint that. We are closing out 2 FERDAP grants right now. When we apply again in September, that is going to be part of it. We will not be able to completely remodel the Possum Palace, but we will get it painted all one color, and the chain link is mostly repaired now, but we will be repairing the rest of the chain link fence down at the park. But, you know, it'll take manpower, scaffolding, that's 30 foot high and a lot of paint. And the city just does not have those funds to do that at this time.
We're in the process now of fixing some of the gates. We got a bunch of the gates down. We're in the process of fixing the gates and fixing some of the fence and the top rollers now. That way it looks better there as well.
Very good.
So it's just finding the pieces. It's hard to find the pieces to fix the fence because it's already pieced together.
I suspect when we start to plan that you're probably going to have, that will be a bid item, and it's
Yes, sir.
going to be several thousand. I'm not minimizing what our men can do, but I don't believe that they can paint that crossing pad standing on a ladder.
That's going to be sprayed, it's going to be pressure washed.
That'd be pressure wash and spray painted.
Yeah.
Could be some cherry berries too.
Yeah.
Sir?
Yeah, metal.
There'll be some metal in place too on it.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, wow. That was fun.
Well, yeah.
Thank you, Steve.
You're welcome. I'm sorry for getting.
Let me go to the non-agenda item. Ms. Blunt?
Yes, I'm gonna send that. I can't sit down, need to.
Yeah, sit down, yeah, mostly speak up.
Okay, I'm concerned about how many water trucks are coming on this back road and getting free water. But we get milled asphalt a load once in a while for it. But it's anybody that contracts, what I was told, can come, that contracts with what's Anderson,
Columbia.
Yeah. There was a rental truck there today or yesterday getting water. A rental water truck, I guess. And our water bills went up $11 a month here. I know this way back, that's the end of last year, but some of that money could be going in the water fund. I know it's potable water, I guess is how you say it.
Not potable.
Non-potable, okay. But it's still good water, right? And other companies, all the companies, trucks and construction people, they know they have to keep that dust down, and they either have to pump it out of the creek or buy the water. But hey, let's go to Wausau where we can get it for free. Everybody come on. There was 3 trucks here. I took pictures of it. And it was, one of the trucks was Porter Construction, which I guess they subtract too.
They subcontractor of Anderson.
Subcontracts. But, and then there was G3, and then I seen a different one this week. But every time I can hear them backing up, doing it, water just running everywhere, tearing up the roads. But we give it away. But we're gonna, now, the contractor that's gonna do the city of Wausau wants to know how much they're gonna charge to buy the water.
They didn't get the contract. Anderson Columbia's gonna have the contract through Wausau.
But, anyway, I still think Wausau should be run as a business. Instead of getting a load of milled asphalt, that there's no record that shows, and there's only so much, how much water there. One time I was told the people on the truck keeps up with the water, how much they get.
Yeah.
Well, shoot, yeah, I would do. I'd come and I work for them, yeah, I get 10 gallons this time. No, it's 2,000 or 3,000 or 4,000. Those 40-foot tanker trucks, and they're on these back roads constantly. I just don't think I think Wausau should sell the water and keep up with it, and there should be some kind of meter that they have to put in their number that they get it, or however they do it, or just not that hose running constantly in the back street right here. Come down this, you can't wash your car and come down this back street, because it's gonna get filthy from that water and dirt. It's constant. My son come in, used to come, they do it, they go out right on 4th Avenue, and he thinks it's rain, but it's those trucks pour the water out. You know, it's just, to me, Wausau should be done like a business. Not, I get a load of asphalt, or we get a load, you know, and decide how much sell the
And
water.
there is a meter,
Yeah.
we have a count of everything that goes through there.
Yeah,
That's,
but do you have a count of who gets water?
I'm not sure that it's broken down before, there's so many subcontractors at all, as far as.
So it's all,
As far as I'm concerned,
anybody,
it's the
I'm sorry.
prime, as far as I'm concerned, it's the prime contractor. It don't matter, company A, B, or C hauls, and it's all under one prime contractor. Now, I may have that wrong.
That's right. And then we are researching through the rural water and through other cities of what, no other city has non-potable water. But we're researching through rural water and all to get a rate to charge. And that will be brought back to y'all at the July meeting, what our when we get it compiled and all that and then we want to charge, we can let our companies know that, hey, this is what we're going to do, and you're going to have to, we'll send you a bill monthly, just like we send another company. That's entirely up to the council,
Well, that sounds good to me, you know what I mean, that sounds good. And then they might figure out how to turn the water off when they leave, because a lot of times it's on, they don't turn it halfway off, and it runs down the street, and just common sense, and I ain't saying, maybe I ain't saying this right, but it tears up the road, I mean,
Yeah.
and I have to admit that, and well, I don't drive too clean of a car, but it
Oh,
might
I
have a
don't
car,
either.
but anyway, that ain't the point. but-
No, it's not.
I'd like to say something on that water situation. The water is too high in Wausau to begin with, so if you could make money by selling that water, I don't see what the deal is. That's to lower other people's water bill. You know, water bill is 3 times higher in Wausau than it is in any other town around here.
Where do you live?
I don't-
sir?
I live right back to those, over here, I'm on the city water.
Oh, you Mr. House?
Yes.
Okay, I'm sorry, I met you before.
Yeah, Mariana just raised their water bill, and they raised it to $10.
But Mr. Houseman, look at the population of Mariana and the customers. And
I know.
our customer base has to support this system, and that makes our rates higher. And it's not something that any of us would like to do or want to do, but we're advised we rely on rural water for our surveys and our studies of what we have to charge to make our system operate.
Yes, I understand, and I wanted to hear that about Sunny Hills wanting to be annexed into the water system. Is that gonna bring our water down?
That would be the worst mistake we ever made. I mean,
The water system in Sunny Hills is run by U.S. Water. They just raised our rates 7.5% for water and 5.7 for wastewater,
What is your
which
monthly,
is something totally different from
what is your monthly bill, just,
my water bill myself is around $50 a month.
Is that just $50 every month, or is that you use
No, it's
extra
$50
water?
every month, but I'm on a septic system, so I don't pay sewer. But everybody else in Sunny Hills that's on the sewer system, their water bills are close to $200 or $300, depending on where they're at. So,
So you've got the second highest water bill in Florida.
right, I just have-
Wausau.
and then there's 5 other counties that U.S. Water raised their rates to, and none of them compared to what they raised ours. Some of them got 0% in for wastewater, and for septic water, 2 or 3 points lower than Sunny Hills. So that's 2 different systems, and we don't own.
Yeah, I imagine, and I think everybody here is on septic. There's no city sewage,
Yeah.
just water.
Well, part of Sunny Hills is
Let's try to get back to where we are.
I'm sorry, interrupt.
I think we need to address Ms. Blunt first. She started. The water that goes through there and the water bill is completely unrelated.
I understand, I know that from the
The
beginning.
raising of the water bill some time ago was, we've had audits, we've had rural water studies and things like that. The cost of chlorine, the cost of maintenance, our water, we have to have a certified water technician on hand when anything's done down at the well. Those rates have gone up in the last 2 or 3 years tremendously, and we're expecting it to be the same thing again this year. The water is the only help me, council and clerk help me, is the only self-sustaining department that we have. Everything else comes from grants,
Yes.
federal revenue sharing, or some things like that. Even the rec department is not self-sustaining. We had that discussion a few minutes ago. The water is the only thing that is. Our water now for base rate is what, $11, 12?
For up to 2,500 gallons is $43.44, Marcy.
That much.
Yeah.
That tells you how long it's been since I looked at my water bill that comes in and I pay it, but, those are unrelated.
I understand.
The point that you made, I don't know when that practice began. That's been going on for
Several years.
every time there's been construction anywhere around, they come here and offer something. They fix streets for us. As a matter of fact, they're going to pave this street,
Third Avenue. Third Avenue.
Third Avenue, they're going to repave that street for us. They didn't altogether tear it up, but they have certainly contributed to the asphalt. It's not a load once in a while, it's whenever we ask for it. And we've almost, I think, Dave or Tim, you can tell me, we've almost asphalted all the driveways in town, or those that have requested assistance, we've asphalted most of them. I know,
I want to fix, I want to
you
fix.
have an hour mine because, the county has got some obligation to us through that new paving thing they did over that road, but, I know that many of the, am I right?
The loads of asphalt, most of them go to that Possum Palace down there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we've only got two there. Since I've been here, I think we've only got 4 loads. Since I lied, 5. We only got 5 loads since I started working here. That's it.
And we got about 15 before you started.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've gotten quite a bit of it, and I'd forgotten about that at the Possum Palace, all of that, and more is available. Is it a good practice or not? We're not disagreeing with you. We are checking on what a reasonable cost would be, and that can change at any time as far as the water. I think the mutual aid that has come from it, and the G3, I think that's doing some work for the county. The county does grade our dirt roads inside the city, and they work with us on any numbers of things. So that's.
So nothing's gonna change. In other words, we're gonna run it like good old.
No, you didn't hear what I said.
The good old boys day.
You didn't hear what I
Good old
said.
boys day.
I can give you the answers, I can't make you lie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, okay,
But-
wasting my time.
No, well,
Yeah.
no, please don't feel that.
No, and
The
I
city
know every
council-
year when I was on council, that old man from Madison came. Every year, y'all need to go up. Every year, y'all need to go up, just because he tells you to keep up the equipment. But water, like you said, the water system, and in times has been put money, took out of the water system in the general funds when they didn't have money for other things. So the water should be, if it was collected, should pay for itself and have the money to, if anything comes up.
Yeah, again, if we back up, I don't want you to leave here, I don't want anyone ever to leave
I'm
here.
not mad.
I hope you won't. I don't want you to leave here thinking you've wasted your time. Anytime that you come and address the council and make a request, make a complaint, or anything, that is not a waste of time. It makes somebody begin to think about something. And you may have made us begin to think about something to move quicker. We are, as she said, getting those rates now to start charging and things like that. We don't change things overnight. We don't change, but that don't mean they keep on staying the same either. Yeah. Now, on a personal note, I apologize to you for not calling you. The day that you came to see me,
Oh, you were sick.
I was very sick. I've never been sicker many times than I was the whole month of May, and I got a stress test and some other things coming out. I'm much better. I'm way on as far as symptoms, I think, but I've had time. Within a couple of weeks, I felt better. I could have called you.
Oh, no.
Looked for your number one time. I don't have it anymore. Since you're off the house, I don't have your number, but I do apologize for not getting back to you. I could have come to see you, but it is important to me.
It was no emergency. though.
Well, it is. And I'm glad that you chose to come tonight. And
Yeah, oh, and another, can I mention one other thing?
you're still on this,
Okay.
yeah.
And it don't really matter. I had spoke to Marcy about it and even to,
Margaret.
Margaret. My blood pressure, the only thing, it's good for the doctor because my blood pressure goes up. But anyway, I spoke to them about the road. I came before, well, when they did the 4th Avenue paved it, I complained then, and I was on council then, and I complained about speed limits. Well, we're gonna check on it, the county does it, this one does it, this one does it. Okay, my granddaughter, which I kept full time, was there with me. And she liked to go down to the creek, what I complained about. Well, then, before the hurricane, and Shirley Reitenberg was on council, and she brought up about the speed limit over there. Well, it was said then, we'd change this from 30 to 20, which it don't really matter now, because my granddaughter's 9, and she can look out for herself. So don't worry about that. So I know in due time it'll come around. But it was either the sheriff wanted that over there on Ford Road. He asked for it, supposedly. I said, well, the sheriff can get more than the town, than a member of the town can get, you know, which I know they got a lot of pull. But it's like anything that I come up with, I don't get nothing, no answers, and nothing's done. Even though you had said that all the town would go to 20, 15, 20, which I wrote through 15, 15, 15, but then there's 30. Which that's fine too. And in fact, I think my neighbor sold his place, so I won't have to see my car get run over, or, you know, hopefully. Anyway, speak there.
We have talked to Public Works and we've talked to the Sheriff's Department. What they say we need to do is to, for the council to send a letter to Washington County Board of Commissioners requesting that the speed limit on the dirt part of Ole Road be lowered. And then when they come out to the pavement, we can lower it. The city can lower it. There has to be a certain amount of mile per hour. Am I saying this right, Marcy? Between the two. But the county needs to lower Ole Road, and then we can lower our speed limit.
But don't do it for me.
We're not doing it, we need to do it anyway. It needs to be done. They fly down that road.
Well, it was needed to be done ever since she was on the council. We're
Way behind.
we're way behind. How long have we known that the county commissioner said that?
We just know that when we started researching the speed limits, how we could lower it down. Because see, that road was paid with state DOT funds, the engineers put the signs up, they made the speed limit with DOT's blessing. So in order to, but they say the part coming from Ole Road into 4th Avenue, where it turns at Amherst Lane.
There's something that's called an MUTCD.
Yeah.
Manual of Uniform Traffic Control Devices. And it designates what kind of road ought to have a speed limit. And you can't just, you have to, if you're coming in or going out, you have to increase incrementally and you have to decrease incrementally. Now, I don't know about, because that's a platted street in a platted subdivision, but
They tell us it's
with the state, if a road starts outside and continues into and through a municipality, it remains the property of the state. And I'm not sure because those funds were, those grants,
Every city grant for the paid portion.
So we can set our own speed limit, can we not?
It needs to go in increments though for the county when it goes to Ole Road. Those two roads change names right there, you know, at Amherst Lane. If they would lower their speed limit to 30 miles an hour at Amherst Lane, then we could go ours down to 20 miles an hour at the beginning of the pavement.
Do they have a sign in where the city says?
No, it's just
Okay.
Well, if that's the case, why can't we just put one up down here at 15 and it can be whatever they want it outside?
Okay. Can I tell something? Past my house on my side of the road, you're going east, going to Elder Road. At Amherst, or wherever going in the driveway where Johnny used to live, you decrease to 20 miles per hour. But coming on Freddie, Virginia side, when you come in
Yeah, come
on
from
4th
there.
Avenue, you hit it and you go 30 just as fast as you can till you get to Highway 77. Right.
So that's our sign going out of the city limits, and then that's,
And there's a sign right in front of what used to be Gina and Tommy Clemens' old house right there. 30 miles an hour when you go in towards Oakley Lane, going east. It's 30. And then it drops down to 20 when you get to,
That road might be
going to John
designed,
Carter's.
that road might be designed for 30 miles an hour, and it could be in a rural or suburban area. But on a city street, I don't think it is. So who do we need to contact on it? If you got some information, what do we need to do on that?
we need to contact Public Works. That is the signage for county, city, and state. And get them to come and see if we can decrease the city.
Okay. Okay. You won't believe if I tell you, we'll check on that, see if it can be fixed.
It's okay, like I say, I'm past it anyway. It just
Well,
seems
you
like-
may be, but the next generation may not be. If it's dangerous, it needs to be addressed. Marcy, would you please make a note, or Margaret, or both of you please make a note that if we don't, if the two of you have not been able to do something about that sign between now and next Thursday afternoon, when you knock off, if you will contact me. But the Bible says, having done all to stand, then stand. Don't call me if y'all have to call somebody else and check on it. But
I
y'all,
think Marcy's been on the phone with quite a few.
if y'all have got something in the works by next Thursday afternoon, and I'm saying then because I do have some health tests this week and things like that, but if you'll let me know by next Thursday afternoon, I will see if I can help y'all help with us. Okay? Does that satisfy that for tonight?
Yes.
And if we hadn't done something later, come back and tell us again.
Well, like I say, I'm kind of over that.
Okay.
I said my piece and I'm over it.
Okay, anything else tonight? You're still on the agenda, anything else you?
I'm not gonna fuss about, I was wanting to fuss about garbage cans, about people getting garbage cans and taking them and coming up here out of city limits and putting their garbage up here, but you can't do nothing, I guess, about that unless you lock them up.
You'd like to have
But,
a sheriff or somebody here, or somebody will have to see them do it.
what if I video? That'll work?
Can you identify them?
Probably. I can find out, but, there was something, go ahead, I'm sorry. No, but I'm glad we got garbage, yeah.
Okay. All right, thank you. You want to address this again or come to see what we've talked about, do you not? About the Sunny Hills water annexing.
Well, yeah, we talked about annexing Sunny Hills itself, and then someone said that the water was, because we're on different water systems, that would cause a problem, and the proximity of Sunny Hills to you guys.
Yeah.
And so you were gonna contact your lawyer to find out if it's feasible to do that, because I think you guys would benefit from us, and we would benefit by joining together, because that would help you guys, talking about sports and children playing sports. You guys could get more kids, because right now the Sunny Hills kids have to go to Wausau to play for some reason. They won't let us have our own league. And so, I don't see why they couldn't come here to play either, but I don't know the logistics of that, so.
Yeah. I think that the water thing is going to be, is not going to be a feasible thing. We do have two different systems. One or the other of us, I think, would probably have to acquire the other one's water system. Say, we couldn't run just 4 miles to Sunny Hills, just a little over 4 miles from here to Sunny Hills. We couldn't run enough line with enough. It would
For that distance.
It would just be, the cost would just be absolutely impossible to have the pump stations and things that we need. Then when we got out there, we'd have to have enough people to sign on, and I think we'd get into a public service Root Hall.
Do you guys pay MSBU fees to Washington County?
We don't.
No, see, we do.
Yeah.
Now, MSBU fee funds can be used to make sewer systems and water systems.
Yes, sir.
So technically, Sunny Hills could actually make their own water system big enough and hook up to you guys if needed to be, if that's an issue. Our problem is we want to get out from underneath Washington County because we're being taxed to death by Washington County for no reason at all and getting those services. We're being overcharged by U.S. Water Company, rate-wise. What's your rate a month, your water rate? Water.
I think we're paying about 45 a month.
45, 50, yeah. But a lot of people out there get brown water constantly, and you don't want to drink brown water. And they refuse to fix it. You're talking about roads and flooding. Shenandoah was underwater for months, and Washington County refused to come fix it because they said they're not in the sewer business. You can't have a road flooded for months and expect people to go around it, especially when it does it like yearly. And so, no one's ever asked you that question. When I first came, I asked you, somebody ever asked you that? And you said, no one's ever asked you. So I'm just kind of exploring to see if you guys would be interested, because if it's possible, I can probably get enough support from residents in Sunny Hills that aren't happy there, which would be glad to come here, and we could bring part of the we could continue the MSB funds instead of giving it to Washington County. We could give it to you guys and improve both communities at the same time.
I think I understand what you're, did somebody address this before I say anything? I usually start, I think that's the chairman's prerogative, but I used to be the MSBU coordinator. I'm not going to second guess the county's operating procedures or their policies or things like that. But the MSBU is designated to be used inside the area where it's collected and the collection things and some things you both know about. I'm not sure. I think you'd have a legal issue if you begin to use some of that money to extend out here. And again, most of your water, you don't have anyone that's on the whales out there, I don't think. Do you have whales out there? I know you got septic, you got some, when Sunny Hills developed, the Deltona Corporation said by the time you pay off your lot, we'll have water and sewer to the lot. Well, that didn't happen, it still hasn't happened. There's some lots that still don't have sewer.
There's part of Sunny Hills has sewers and part of them has septics. We're both on the septics, so we pay less.
But you both have water.
But we both have water from U.S.
Yeah.
Water.
So what would have to happen would be that you'd have to cut off their water.
We'd either have to
And then
require.
you're gonna have to run a line from your house, and I don't know how deep in Sunny Hills you're gonna have to run a line from your house all the way out to where our line would terminate if we did that.
We'd either have to require U.S. Water, or we'd have to build our own system, which MSBU funds can be used for, because it's in the state statute.
And that may be something that the residents would consider is incorporating and building a system.
Or make it our own town.
Or you could incorporate and become a town yourself.
Because
that effort was made back in the 70s and 80s a couple of times, and there's some laws about contiguous areas and some things like that. It never did happen. I think the people who never did join the petition, Mr. Ken Aaron was the gentleman that started some of that, and I don't even know if he lives in the area anymore. But you may want to try incorporation, become your own city.
Right, and we can't incorporate. And as long as we're unincorporated, we fall under Washington County.
That's right.
No matter what.
That's right.
But if we incorporated with somebody else, then the MSBU funds going to Washington County would go away because we're incorporated. We can still use that same tax money to generate whatever we want, and we can give it to whoever we want instead of giving it to them. Because as it is now, all this money that we pay Washington County, nobody in Sunny Hills gets anything for.
I can't address that one. I don't think this council can.
We don't see any improvements, and neither do the residents.
Yeah.
and so.
Seems like you don't like Washington County.
At this time, we don't have enough rooftops in Sunny Hills to incorporate.
Right.
Enough what?
We don't have enough rooftops in Sunny Hills to incorporate. We can't do it right now.
And that law changed about the same time I was talking about a while ago, because you got some towns in South Florida, they incorporated with like 20 people in it.
Really?
6 square blocks, and they had a city incorporated in some places like that, you know.
Now Deltona's starting to build again. They've got all kinds of construction going on.
Do they ever?
Pretty soon.
Do they ever? They must have 30 houses going on out there, maybe more.
150, or, I mean, that's wrong, it's supposed to be 150 for it. for
Yeah,
it.
they just, Washington County just sold Deltona over 250 lots to build houses, so they intend to build 30,000 houses in the next 3 years or something like that. So,
Yeah. Wausau and Washington County, as we knew it, is coming to the end of the road. Okay, did we help you? We're not going to be able to do what you're requesting of us tonight. If you want to pursue it, find other means, the MSB or anything like that, we wish you well, but it's not something that I think the town could do tonight to extend.
right now, right, yeah. Like I said, this was more or less just a research project to try to see if you guys would be interested, and if it's feasible, if you'd be interested, it's feasible. I know we'd have to do a lot of work on our end, because I wouldn't expect you guys to do it.
Yeah.
But like I said, for us to be under Washington County, this doesn't work for our residents. We're being disenfranchised left and right and paying taxes for nothing.
Well, we do appreciate you thinking about the town of Wausau as a partner.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir, come anytime.
Okay.
Okay, moving on to our agenda. Madam Clerk.
Okay, we have our maintenance department here. Y'all are wanting to discuss with them the inmate crews, and they're wanting to discuss with y'all the inmate crews, and I think y'all are wanting to do the same thing, yeah.
Okay. Who's your spokesman? Tim? Tim, you're the maintenance?
I think maybe needs to be David, because he's the one dealing with him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think
Now, please, let's make an exception with you guys. Would you please come and just pull a chair up and talk to us? I want to make sure I hear what you're saying, and thank you for doing that. Not to treat you differently than we had other people, but this could be a longer time here.
Put us on the stand.
Yeah.
I'll swear you in a minute.
Okay, so who wants to speak first, and let's see what we,
I'll let David speak first, he's the one that deals with them all the time.
okay, David.
well, my opinion about the inmate thing. Of course, they called me in, talked to me about Tim here. They didn't even know who he was, so they said he wasn't certified out there. So therefore, he cannot watch the prisoners while I go to lunch. I can't take them to lunch. I'm not allowed to take them in any business. I'm not allowed to do no work with any kind of other kind of work. All I gotta do is watch them. That's the way it works. From what I get out of them in work, I really don't think they're worth having here for the time, you know what I mean? For the time it's invested. They're not putting out no work. Just like the other day, me and Tim went to the graveyard and mowed it. We didn't only mow the graveyard, we mowed Memorial Drive, Forest Avenue, and part of the park, plus the graveyard. We did it in 2.5 hours. It takes the prisoners 2.5 days. So, costs, and I'm spending roughly $75 to $80 a week traveling back and forth to pick them up, take them back. I gotta have them back by 2 o'clock. They tell me to be there at 7 and pick them up. I don't get out of there until 9 o'clock with the prisoners. Time I get back, get stuff, get them moved, what we're gonna do. I mean, it's almost time for them to go back again, because we gotta have them back by 1:30 to 2 o'clock.
If we were to get them, I don't see the point in getting them, but maybe a day or two, if we were to get them, and honestly, it's just a weed eat.
Is what?
It's just a weed eat, is all.
They don't know,
They don't know anything, and by the time,
and they can't even read a tape measure.
yeah, by the time he gets them to where they're able to even operate anything, they take them from them, and they give them somebody new.
That happened to me already.
With that being said, what else was it? There's something else, can't remember off the top of my head. I just had it there and it's gone. Can't
I
remember.
just think that honestly, for the work that needs to be done here, me and Tim can handle it. I don't think we need the prisoners.
Do we need to get them in here to do the weeding for y'all?
I don't think so. I think we can handle it. I think it's more trouble than it's worth. And it costs money. I mean, when you're spending $80 a week in gas for what little bit of work they're doing, it's not working.
They're not here but a couple hours, and, you know, what are we gonna do?
And they take a lunch.
We won't need them during
you
winter
know.
time. I mean, during winter time, we won't need them at all. Like, was it Monday? I think it was Monday. We went and did, last week, I think it was Monday. We went and did, on Finch Circuit, we had to dig all the way down to the main tap. We did 2 of them Monday?
No, we did one Monday and one last and Thursday.
Yeah, we had to do, we didn't have to do a tap, but we had to dig over on, we had to do 2 on Finch Circle. Adam, ran off, somebody's meter, but they weren't getting no water. So we had to go all the way to the main line on Finch Circle on 2 different meters because they were getting no water through them, and actually turn them on at the actual saddles.
One of them had never been turned on.
Yeah, one never been turned on.
And the other one was leaking.
Yeah, we had to replace the whole line.
Also had to replace the meter on that one too.
Yeah, but definitely, if anything happens, I mean, David, he has to take the prisoners back. And like he said, he's not getting back till 9:30. Then he's having to leave at 1:30 to take them back.
It's just, to me, it's just not.
Tim, you had a card. You had a card.
Oh, I got the card. The only thing is, it expired.
How did you let that happen?
I didn't know it expired.
Also.
I thought it was good for a year, and I didn't realize a year passed, I guess.
But he never did finish.
And I guess, yeah, they said I never finished my class.
That's what they told me out there, that he never finished his certification.
And how was that?
Sergeant Cooper said I was good to go. Sergeant Cooper said I was good to go. Said the same thing with Dallas when Dallas was done.
It takes 3 weeks.
I don't know what happened. All I know is I was told I was good to go. Same thing with Dallas. I think what they
He told me
did,
he wasn't even on record out there at all.
I think they got me and Dallas mixed up with Dallas's recertification. That's what I think happened. Because all Dallas had to do was get recertified. Because he's already had to do inmates before. He's already had an inmate card.
And Tim had never had one. You had never had one?
Yeah, I never had one. So I think that may have been what happened. I'm not sure. But I was told I was good to go by Sergeant Cooper.
He still got a card, but he expired. But he never went all the way.
The only contact I made is Sergeant Cooper called him wanting to know why we were not getting the inmates. And that they thought that
I talked to,
we could do more work,
Lieutenant
2 or 3 than
Gibson.
2, yeah. That's all.
That's right.
He thought we could do more work with a couple of inmates than 2 guys together here, you know.
Okay.
That's all but he did say Tim was not.
Why were we not getting them? Who decided we're not gonna get them?
there ain't nobody decided we aren't going to get them.
Well, why aren't we?
Why what?
Why aren't you getting them?
Why are we not in?
One thing,
Somebody decided not to go down there.
I can't go to lunch without him being certified.
You're paid for lunch.
Yeah, but I
So
can't,
you can
I
what?
can't go to lunch without having him being certified.
Bring
Because I can't leave the prisoners with him.
a sandwich.
No, I'm not gonna do that. Then maybe you need to find somebody else to do it.
Tim,
I'll let you know right now.
what's it gonna take for you to get certified?
All I gotta do is take the class.
Council members?
How long does it
It surprises me, it
Takes 3
surprises me that every other jurisdiction that has inmates is getting work out of it, and why can't we?
When I got hired on here, I wasn't hired on to do inmates.
The first
Probably
crew,
have a job description that says anything else at the discretion of the council.
the first crew that I had, they were good ones. But once I got them up, started teaching them something, they started learning something, they took them away from me. Then it would be another crew, and they weren't good. They don't want to do nothing. And they'll work, but they don't move very quick.
Gentlemen,
We need to get Tim certified.
we need to get Tim certified, that's a good suggestion.
Yeah.
Okay. Need to get Tim certified.
So what am I supposed to do if I get certified and have inmates and we have a leave?
Well, you only
Yeah,
have,
we'll have them but an hour.
you only have them an hour a day.
And it would be good just to know that, have it on your.
Well, I don't mind getting inmates. My thing is we get about between 3 to maybe 5 work orders a day on a normal day.
Not every day, but sometimes we do get 3 to
Yeah.
5 at a time.
And I don't know one guy's name, I don't think Circle, but if somebody comes to us and needs something done, we immediately tell them that they need to get a work order in. That way, we have a paper trail of what
That's good.
something of what we're getting done.
That's good.
That way, if anything's being said about, we're not doing this, we're not doing that, we do have some type of paper trail. The stuff with the grass, we're gonna cut the grass today, but we wanted to leave it so y'all can see it. We cut this grass last, Wednesday or Thursday? The grass is growing fast.
The park was mowed, and 3 days later, it needed to be mowed
Yeah.
again.
And,
It was getting a lot of rain at night, sun comes out, it's
Oh, yeah.
grass
It's
grows.
gonna be that way for a while.
It's the rainy season, there's nothing we can do about it.
The year that it is.
Yeah, that's right, it's the time of year.
we're trying to keep the grass down, trying to do our job, we're also trying to get the work orders down, we're also trying to fix a lot of stuff that needs to be fixed. Have you seen the shuffleboard court yet?
Been done. That's the end of that.
We got the shuffleboard court done finally.
The grants were, we were kind of the last close out papers on them, this, closing this figure out.
There was no templates or nothing, so we had to design our own way to do the shuffleboard.
It's like the building down there around the splash pad, all the controls and stuff.
Yeah.
I brought the prisoners in for that, the prisoners didn't know how to do any of it, so I had to do it. I'm not allowed to do that, I'm not supposed to be doing that. They're supposed to do it. Well, I can't bring guys in that don't know, do that kind of work if they don't know how. They can't do it, they can't do it,
I do need to bring something up to the council. The AC is not working in the prison van.
No, it does
I
not.
don't know, I know that needs to be fixed. I do know that we just noticed the other day that the power steering pump, the pulley's starting to wiggle real bad on it.
It's gonna-
We ain't had a chance to try to fix it yet. I know, well, I guess I can drive my car back and forth
Well,
to,
the power steering pump's been singing ever since I've been driving it.
well, I do that, but I can drive my car back and forth when we get, we can probably fix it before then, before I take the class or whatever, but if we get fixed before then, I can drive my car back and forth to the course. If we don't get fixed before then, and he can get the power steering pump fixed before we start getting inmates again, or however we gotta do it.
Okay, does the DOC require that we have air conditioning?
I don't know.
I tell you, George Rogers drove a used gaming board vehicle for years that didn't have air conditioning in it, he was a supervisor. I don't know that having air conditioners necessarily is a requirement. Having a power steering pump fix is going to be important, but having air conditioners is not necessarily keeping us from doing anything. If we can get it fixed, that's good, but that's.
It needs to be fixed.
Can I add to this?
Please.
Okay. When, Boyd decided to get inmates, to begin with, Tim was gonna be certified just in case of an emergency, if Dallas got sick or had to leave, and he had to take the inmates in. It is not feasible to have, our maintenance department working inmates. If we get a leak, he can't get on a tractor and go dig that leak up, and leave those inmates. They can't drive a van, they can't drive a tractor, they can't. There are certain things that they cannot do, and we have to have one person there to be able to go and do what needs to be done, and they can help dig up a leak, but somebody else has to bring them there, But, when we talked to Dallas about, working the inmates, he wanted to go to 40 hours a week to work inmates. Well, all of a sudden, he didn't want to work inmates anymore, And it's a bad job, I understand that. And like I say, it's completely the council's decision, but we do need to have one man freed up that can do the actual work if we have a leak, or something major happens. And let me tell you, there's gonna be major when 77 comes through here starting in August. Y'all just remember what it was when 814 or Samco come through here just to repay the project.
If we are gonna get inmates, is there any way we can just get them to like 2 days a week?
So what are you saying? That's not what I think I've heard you say in the past.
Well, we need the inmates. I think we do need the inmates, but we need one man free, We
We need two.
I know, but they can both be certified. One will be the inmate supervisor, and one will be the maintenance, but certified in case of an emergency. If David got sick and had to go to the hospital, got hurt or something, somebody had to get them inmates back to the prison.
Well, now the prison will come pick them up.
Maybe they will, yes, I guess.
Yeah, they will,
But that's y'all's decision.
All you have to do is call them if you got a problem, they'll come pick them up. If you got a problem with their behavior, they'll come pick them up. But don't work to me.
They will.
Yeah, I had a card once upon a time too.
Yeah, they will do it.
And they'll.
I agree Tim needs a card. I agree Tim needs a card.
Okay.
Tim, you'll handle that one. Sure.
Oh, so you got your appointment?
Y'all just remember now, you're not gonna have Tim in 3 weeks. Takes 3 weeks to get that card.
Well, we may not have him for 3 weeks, but, you'll be here
Well, that's what I'm trying to tell you. I mean, if I got prisoners, I can't do all that stuff.
for 3 weeks. We hadn't had prisoners.
That's all I'm trying to,
We hadn't had prisoners now for how many weeks?
this was just
One.
a second,
Second week.
1 week.
2 weeks?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
So-
4 to 8 days.
That's 2 work weeks.
That's right.
So we can apparently do without him 3 weeks, and you can do till he gets.
I just wanted you to.
Till he gets his card. I understand.
Is that all right with you?
Yeah, I'm fine.
3 weeks while he goes to get certified?
Yeah, I'll do the maintenance and stuff while he's getting certified. That's what I mean, I can't have prisoners in that time.
We understand that, yeah,
I explained to you.
Y'all talk where y'all work together good. I like that.
Yeah, we handle it.
And,
Yeah, y'all do it.
well, then we don't have to address that tonight, because that's not always what's coming through this office. And when we get together, we're gonna have to be honest. We can't say things in the office or behind the building or down the street that we can't come here and discuss.
And I think they'll both admit that they had problems to begin with, to get along with each other on and off, but I think I've talked to both of them, and I think they've worked those issues out.
Yeah, that's like a marriage. You didn't work out. You give it time.
Idea?
Yeah.
Good concept.
Well, you don't argue.
Yeah. Is there anything that's between the relationship that we need to talk about, or anything about lines of authority and organization and?
No.
Okay.
They
No, we work it out between us, just.
So talk to us about your equipment.
Do that in 3 weeks while we get him certified.
Yeah.
That's what I was trying to say.
Yeah. So talk to us about the steering, power steering.
When Dallas was here, we replaced the hose on, it was leaking real bad, and we got violent, because he immediately, he said he was only getting inmates 2 days a week, and he got them 4 days a week, every day. And so we never got a chance to actually replace the pump, and now it's that.
Well,
That thing's wiggling really bad.
I think as long as Mr. Cooper, the president, knows that there are going to be days that we really will not be there, they'll work around that. It's them not knowing why we aren't coming that's a problem.
No, I've been calling them. I've been staying in touch with them and calling them.
And what about the reports about food? What about the report about food being given to them?
Nobody reported, he said that I've been observed. I said, well, I don't know how I've been observed, because I haven't done it.
Well.
But there was nothing else said about it, I said, I don't know where you're getting your information, but I don't think that's right.
Okay.
And that was the end of it. And I just, like I said, day before yesterday, I talked to Lieutenant Gibson, and he says, just stay in touch with me, let me know what's going on about coming out and being prisoner. I said, I will. He said, thank you very much.
Now, as far as the truck, do we need to put it in the shop?
We could do
And
it.
let me be careful, because we had a tractor a year ago that was told that it just it was gone, couldn't be fixed, da. We sent it to the sale. It sold for like $18,000 or something like that. I know the man that bought it. He put about $1,200 into some kind of package holder, and is using it every day, and got it up for sale for like $23,000 or $24,000. Now we got a brand new piece of equipment with a mortgage on it, because we were told that one wasn't any good. So are we diagnosing this, or are we taking it to a shop and had it diagnosed?
It just needs power steering pump, that's all it needs.
You can see it. It's pretty obvious.
I mean, if you want it done real quick, you take it to the shop and have it done quick. That way, it's done quick, it's warranted, or we can go get the pump and do it ourselves. The only bad thing about them is, you gotta take the bracket off, you actually you gotta buy the active grant, or buy the pulley puller, to actually pull the pulley off.
Power steering pumps don't come with pulleys no more.
I don't think you can, no need, you gotta buy the pulley.
Okay, you can rent that, pulley.
Yeah,
You can buy it cheaper, you can rent it. Honestly, you can.
Now you can just take it to the shop and do it, or it's however y'all wanna do it.
I've done it.
Well, they don't cost that much.
$35.
What's the best for you? Do you have time to do it? Can you get it at the parts store cheaper?
Yeah, we can do everything at the parts store, yeah.
Do you have time to do it and the expertise to do it?
Yeah. I know it's supposed to rain a bunch next week, so we can pull it in there on one of the rainy days and do it.
Let's just get it done, let them put it on.
Yeah, sounds good. That sounds
So
like.
I don't know what day y'all want me to start the classes, but I know.
We'll have to schedule that with Sergeant Cooper.
Okay, I know the 26th and 27th, we got the
Well,
classes.
there's some other class now.
Yeah,
Yeah, they're going to MOT training. Washington County is providing MOT training, and they're going to MOT traffic operations training,
Okay.
which that'll be their signage, they'll have to put their signs out and all that.
I suspect that you can work with Sergeant Cooper and work him out a schedule, and between him and Tim, if he has to miss a day or something like that, he can go back on another day and all. And I know what we did is not always what continues to go forward, but we took those classes as well, and you could probably stagger some days. I don't know that.
I know the 22nd, I got court.
Okay.
Deposition.
All right, Dave, just as long as it's blunt, we're just using her as an example for bringing things to our attention that we didn't know it is bulked up. I was questioning about you driving a city vehicle to Chipley every day for lunch.
Yeah.
Now, the lunch is your time, but we're.
Well, here's why it was going on like that, okay? Because he would come and watch the prisoners, and I would just get in the company truck and go on and get my lunch. That's why. Because he stays there with the van and the prisoners. That's why.
But as you look at his employees, we don't furnish these ladies with vans to go get their lunch on or anything like that when they.
I can drive my own, it's no big deal.
Okay.
But then I just have to drive a truck over here, park it, go get a little lunch, bring my van back, park it, get in the truck, and drive back over where prisoners are.
I understand, and that lunch hour belongs to you. If you want to take a nap or come here, but we are paying you for it.
I understand.
And, so I just,
I'm not a brown bagger.
yeah. Yeah, and our
Never have
restaurant,
been.
our restaurant closed here, and I haven't been to this one in a while, I don't know how they're doing, but,
They suck.
I'm
I'm sorry.
It ain't no good.
I'm sorry.
You don't have much choice, but
do y'all need anything from the council that we're not providing for you?
Did y'all want to discuss getting the inmates just 2 days of the week?
Yeah.
That's time to discuss it here.
I think 2 days a week's plenty, myself.
I'm concerned, again, why we can't get anything out of it, and all the other jurisdictions are getting stuff.
Well, they also get, the other ones get, 4, 5, 6 of them. I get 1 or 2.
Yeah.
They only give me 2 at a time.
Every now and then they'll get maybe 3, and that's when it's like.
Very seldom.
Yeah.
Happened a couple times.
And like I
They
said,
keep telling me they're gonna give me more, they never did.
What do we need to do, council? What do we need to do do we need to have a window here where we monitor this closely, let these guys bring us back how many times they don't get inmates when they go after them, and how many they get each day or something? What do we need to do to evaluate the program? And we thought it was a good thing, and here's where we could be. We thought it was a good thing. We years and years, somebody every few meetings would say, let's get inmates. Mr. Wolstenham and I went down there, Mr. Wolstenham made our appeal to the prison. They said, yeah, we got plenty of prisoners, fixed it up and all that. And we was happy about that. So now a year and we're not happy, not as happy. We also said at one time that we don't have enough work for 2 men to do. Now we've got enough work for 2 men and an inmate crew to do. We either got work or we don't got work. And we had a gentleman said, now I wasn't hired to watch inmates, so if that's, I'm going to leave. So now we quit watching inmates. We opened up a door for that person to come back and say, well, you discriminate against me. You said I had to work inmates, but now we've got somebody that followed me that don't have to work inmates. There's a lots of pages to a book sometime, and we need to look at the whole book.
And I think the only difference in that employee is that employee actually, we have the email from the attorney, that employee actually brought his keys, turned them in, and left. He essentially quit. We did not terminate him for not watching inmates. We did not terminate him for anything, He actually brought his keys, put them on my office desk, and said he would not watch inmates,
Right.
And there may be a difference there, I don't know.
Yep. What you think?
Thank you.
Well, sometimes you're gonna have to be able to say something once in a while. We've had too many commissioner councilmen that sat on the council and never did.
Well, what about, what they were talking about, inmates 2 days a week? Well, first we gotta get him certified.
What were we doing 2 days a week that won't be there to be done 4 days a week?
All it can do really is mow weed. That's pretty much about all I can get out of them.
And I'm hearing you say that every 3 days you gotta start mowing over, so you mow 2 days and then you come back the next 2 days and you mow again.
we have weed eat ditches and weed eat cemetery.
Sir?
So we can have them do the cemetery, we can have weed eat all the ditches. And by the time they're done doing that, the next week they can start again.
I had them clean up down there on, weed all the ditches down in here,
By the time they
down
get
that
through.
dirt road.
By the time they do it in 2 days, the next week they'll have to start over again.
Well, that's good, well, that is good, that's good, that's fine.
Within 2 days, They'll get tired of weed eating, they won't wanna come back to
Yeah,
us.
we need, 2 days a week.
They won't wanna
I
come
wouldn't,
back to Wausau.
I wouldn't limit it to weed eating, because if they do, then they, I think they need to tell them, if they may want to do something out of weed eating. I mean, we don't need to say weed eating, we need to, if they need a hole dug, or they need
Oh, yeah.
trash moved, or whatever they might need.
And if we do need them an extra day, you know, for something like that, we can always go give them an extra day.
There's not, they don't limit
Well,
you to get 2 or 1
I
or 3.
think that I can talk to.
Yeah, you can talk.
I can talk to Lieutenant Gibson, tell him, can I get prisoners?
Yeah, there you go.
As
There you
needed
go.
basis.
Yeah.
On my phone, I call it.
They've already told us last time when Dallas was here that if we only needed them, if we only wanted them 2 days, let them know what 2 days we wanted, and then that was good.
Yeah.
And that would be fine.
I could go for 3. The two of you could have, the 2 of you could have a day for planning, have a day to get your stuff in order, get your equipment ready and all like that. But just 2 days, that's, we leaving lots laying on the table there, where we can get some production, I think.
Yeah.
Whatever the council wants.
Well, that's good to hear you say that.
It is.
So you're gonna get them as needed or 2 days a week, right?
Whatever y'all want.
Whatever way y'all want to do it. You just say what y'all decide.
We need to be careful, Mr. Park, as needed, who's going to determine if they need them or not? This council may think they need them, and they may think they don't, because they don't want to go get them, or for some other reason. I think we need to say 2 days, 3 days, 4 days. I think we need to, I think
Hey, y'all need
they
to
don't know how to
decide
operate.
today.
If we don't give them good direction and give them good support, things like that, they don't know. We leave them in a confusion, and we don't need to do that. I recommend we do 3 days a week, and then let them have a day, that last day of the week or the first day of the week, whatever they want to do their planning, put their equipment in repair, do something that takes 2 men together to do, and not be watching inmates at the same time. I think we need to give them some sense of direction.
What do you think? Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday? That way we can come in on Monday and prepare everything and have the rest of the week.
That sounds
Sound
better than
great.
the, as needed.
No, you don't need a motion for that, do you?
Yes,
Do
sir.
you? Okay.
We do need to-
I would like one, just,
Yeah. Just in case I say we didn't do it again.
yes, sir.
Well, your plan is better than my as needed.
All right, we'll take a motion on that.
I'll make a motion to do 3 days.
We have a motion that Tim gets certified and they keep their certification up. And they get inmates 3 days a week, and we communicate this to the prison. Okay, would you please communicate that to the sergeant or
I will.
lieutenant or
I will.
something? Okay,
You second that, Mr.
I'll second that.
we have a motion and second, any discussion on the motion? Any vote, Ms. Wolfson?
Yes.
Mr. Parker?
Yes.
Chair votes yes. Thank you,
One
man.
more
We
question.
probably
One more
needed to do this a long time ago.
One more question.
Yes, sir.
When do I start getting prisoners again? After he's certified?
Right.
Okay, that's all.
Yeah. I appreciate y'all wanting today, so that everybody knows that they also initiated that they get to come to see us. We quit that quarter thing a few months back, but they felt like it. And I thank you for coming. I think this has been good. We need to hear from y'all. Okay. Anything else? Thank you both. Thank you both. And we do appreciate that Forest Avenue and all, and Memorial. I come in a couple of days ago from Panama, drove up that way. I look so good.
I do have a question.
Okay.
The monument, how are we moving that? Are you moving that or?
The brick ain't.
We're gonna take it out of the brick, bust it out of the brick, and we're gonna move it.
Now,
We're not doing the whole brick thing, we're just doing the flat. I'll get with you on that.
the brick thing is tore up, gone.
All right. We can-
Watch out somewhere.
We all can move quickly.
Well, y'all can move quickly now. The Rogers Square email, we got the email that we scored high enough in the points to be considered for a site visit. We have had that site visit, and we've got a couple of things to adopt later on here, and then it looks like we'll be, in all probability, funded for that project. It still remains to get the official email, but we'll get an official email on that shortly.
Sounds good.
Yeah, sounds good.
Okay, and you asked me to prepare a job description for the town clerk that is in your packet. If y'all have had a chance to look at that, we need to, adopt the job description for the town clerk. And we also need to advertise for a part-time position for the town clerk.
Can we do it in one motion?
We can.
Okay, has everybody read the job description?
Yeah,
That's pretty thorough, don't you think?
yeah.
Good job. Good job. Okay, what's the pleasure of the council? We need to adopt the job description and advertise for the position.
I'll make a motion to adopt the job description and advertise it for this.
We have a motion, is there a second?
I'll second it.
Motion and second, any discussion on the motion? How vote Mr. Parr?
Yes.
Mr. Wolfson?
Yes.
And Chair votes yes.
Okay. I'll give you an update on the splash pad. We've had a couple complaints of it being slippery in some places. Best we can determine, there's 1 or 2 places that it's slippery. As soon as the rain quits, we have some Knox Kid paint that's going on that down there that should alleviate that problem.
Okay.
Memorial Drive right away, we have you have a map in there of what they're looking at to. But anyway, we've got a citizen that is buying some property up there, and they would like to clear the right of way up to the highway and maintain it for us. And I don't think that would be a problem, as long as they look out for our water lines. And we'd have to send some map of that somewhere.
Yeah, I saw it earlier.
Yeah.
But that's just a little, it goes down to Mayor Hagan's property there, and it's just a growed up wooded mess right there, that the guys buying the property and clearing that property, the Wausau property used to be
Yeah.
and he's gonna clear his property there, and he wants to clear that right away out to the road.
Okay, and you said he's going to move his business there?
And in time, it's not gonna be anything real, he's gonna put a pole barn to start with,
Okay.
but that'll go through the planning,
Yeah, I was gonna say, he needs to know that, that's a residential area, and there's some things that can be done there, and if he was to move that business, I think we would require
a privacy
some kind
fence.
of privacy fence or something like that between there. Yeah, that piece of island on that side of the road just starts at the corner of the cemetery. But what a lot of folks don't know is there's about a 4 or 5 foot piece in there that's kind of a no man's land. It looks like 2 surveys may have been run many years ago. One come this way a certain distance and one come this way a certain distance. And when they stopped, there was some land right there. And the contractor, before any of us knew it, had decided that's where the water line needed to go. So we've got a water line laying just outside that cemetery fence there, and he doesn't need to do anything that would keep us from getting on that. And Jeff may need to look at that, see what we need to do about laying claim to it or doing something to it, make sure that we have an access there if we ever had a water line. It comes up Memorial Drive and down Cemetery Fence and back down Boston Palace Road, I think, or either it comes this way and goes that way, but that's where it's laying. So what are you asking us for tonight?
I was just giving you that information that he may want to come before y'all and do that clearing. It's not a lot, but it is some,
Okay. All right.
That's all I have.
Okay, while we're still with the clerk, do we have any update on our mission skate park equipment?
As far as the sheriff, if any experience says that is their skate park equipment, the sheriff's department's been out there to look, and they don't think we're missing any. I don't know if we're missing any or not.
We are.
That's exactly the one. They match the same colors, aren't they?
The
They don't
Phoenix.
match it. I personally went out there once or twice. It's our equipment. It's not there.
City of Phoenix Springs says it's their equipment.
They told us in the beginning, if it's not bolted down, it's not ours. Well, guess what? It wasn't bolted down. It's the same color as what we have.
I know
here.
investigators went over there from Washington County and got with the Phoenix Springs, and they claim the equipment is theirs.
It's not theirs, but.
I don't know what to do from there.
Okay, that's an update, that's,
Yeah. And they're still working on it, is what they're telling me.
I'll try to talk to the sheriff.
Okay.
What about the sign? Remind me where we are on that, we was talking about having, we're gonna have a sign out here, light it, and
We're still working, that's in the COVID grant here, in that grant there.
in this grant, okay?
And we also put it, in case we couldn't put it in this one, we have put it up in the Roger Square grant too.
What about, maybe their next, you asked us to do an advertising and do some things. Could you give us an update on things that we have that are recurring contractual types of things, like our surveillance stuff, our computer stuff, and things like that?
Okay.
When we get into budget, then I'd like for us to talk about that, because we've got a lot of expenses that we never see. We see streets and we see ball fields and things like that, but there's lots of stuff that we have that's costing us lots of money that we need to be aware of. When we start talking about what happened to all our money, is keeping our.
We got put it on the cyber contract, that's recurring. We got a monthly fee with our IT people, which they do save us a lot,
Yeah, and an annual fee with our auditor, and
Yeah.
we got our water technician. We got lots of money that goes out from here that even people in town's not aware of, something like that.
Now, for example, we got a $25,000 audit bill this year. Our liability and workman's comp insurances went up to $45,000 a year. We get an increase on that this year also. Our insurance, and we have just regular, our water operator is $1,600 a month. That's going up this year. I don't know how much. He's going to present it to you.
Who you talking about? Mr. Register, he's still wanting a raise?
Yes, sir.
Good, to realize, he don't even deserve that I noticed what he gets, okay? But I'll be quiet, okay?
No, I think you're expressing what we all may be thinking.
Man, I don't know what he does, maybe he does it more that I don't know. I don't follow people around,
The main thing is, our insurance went from, to $12,000 a year, jumped up to $45,000 a year. The lawsuits and, equipment, grants.
That insurance
is outrageous.
And every time we have a lawsuit, it goes up.
Yes,
Is that
sir.
correct?
That's right.
And that's the reason you don't need lawsuits, I'm gonna tell you, but that's just.
But anybody's gonna sue anybody now,
Yeah, that's right. Stupid. Okay, I'm sorry.
Our church insurance went from like $6,000 or $7,000 a year to what we got this year when it was $29,246.
Ours is going up again this year. I'm not sure what percentage yet, but it'll go up at least 8 to 10%. That's more than, that's half our budget. We also, we are blessed with having, we got 2 part-time positions in the office. And then we got 2 positions outside. Our gross payroll is around $2,000 a week. That's a lot for a little town to maintain.
2,000 a week.
Yes, sir. And then you ask, where's this going, where's that going, can we do this, can we do that?
And that sounds like that is a big amount for
A small town.
But
And none of our employees are underpaid.
some of you, maybe most of you, could go someplace else and do
Like
better.
Walmart,
We're
Walmart's paying $17.50 an hour now for stoppers, 10 p.m. to 7 a.m. Some days it'd be a blessing to go there.
I worked the night shift once upon a time. Okay, Mr. Park, anything for you tonight.
Maybe next time, I'm just back fresh.
And we're glad that you're back.
Thank you.
You're recovering pretty good.
Yeah.
Okay, Mr. Carter's not here, Mr. Wolf's now.
No, I'm fine.
Okay. I've got a couple of things on the agenda. Let me, Paul, let me ask you just, can you, I think we need to have a Wausau letterhead for our correspondence. Could you design, do you do that kind of,
I thought we had it one
We
time.
do.
huh?
Marcia's got one.
I got a compliment today on my letterhead.
Did you?
Yeah, we got one
From the
already.
DOT.
Yeah.
You just don't know the right people.
Go ahead. Your excuse, go ahead. I think I got my question answered. Okay. I think that, you know, a long time ago, we had one that had like Steffi Smith and the Boston or Train and all like that. That was local, that was us, that was flavorful and all like that. But I think we need something that identifies, this letter's from Wausau. Okay, my two items are, the cemetery fence. We was taking some quotes for some fencing at the house, and I was not able to come to an agreement, but I asked the gentleman to look, our cemetery fence, broken in places, posts bent, broken and things like that, and he said he can put, this is not replacing gates or anything, this is just fixing the fence, the top rail, the broken posts all the way around the cemetery for $875. Margaret says there is that much money in the cemetery, in the cemetery fund, and I think that's something we need to do. We may need to sometime discuss whether or not we need to replace some of those gates. We quit closing it at night. We're not going to close the gate. What good is it? But that does not include any gates. It's just bringing our fence back into order. If we're interested in that, we need a motion, and if we're not interested in that, it was just, I had an opportunity to get a quote, and I did.
You need a motion to move forward with that.
If we want to do that, we need a motion.
Okay, I'll make a motion that we go ahead and move forward and get it.
Restoring, repairing the fence at cemetery. Second. Got a motion and a second, any discussion on the motion? Mr. Wolf now?
Yes.
Mr. Parker? Yes. And the sheriff, yes. And the last thing that I have is the town council vacancy position. We did interviews last week and this week. We had 4, when I asked you to submit us your top 3 picks, we had 2 people on every person's list, and then we had 2 others. So we just went and we actually interviewed 4, not the top 3. And here's our score sheet averages. We had Mrs. Hausman, Mrs. Reitenberg, Mr. Dristus, and Ms. Jones. And and all of them presented themselves very well. They came, they were punctual, and I asked each one of them at the end of the interview, do you feel like this has been a fair interview, that we treated you fairly? All the things, we want to make sure that we didn't do anything that intimidated or anything like that. This is the summary of averages of the questions that we had, 16 questions, and Margaret actually has if you want to see, actually has the questions and proposed answer sheet and things like that. And there, Mrs. Hausman, 25, Mrs. Reitenberg, 56, Mr. Dristus, 53, Ms. Jones, 34. I think any one of these people would make a good, I think in a couple of more elections, we may see some of these names come out as candidates, and I encourage them to do that. But at this point in time, based on the interviews and the scoring, I would recommend that we appoint Mrs. Reitenberg to fill the unexpired term of Ms. West, which will run from July until the elections next year.
And December 24.
And December 24. So the charter says that I have to bring this back to you, but the council has to make a decision. Now, you can either accept that, or we can actually we have the option, I think. I don't know if we have the option. If you
And
turn, if you turn,
I think you have to do that.
if you turn this down, I
recommend-
think I have to recommend somebody else, yeah, that's right. I have to make a recommendation. So my first recommendation is that, based on the scores, Ms. Reitenberg be asked to serve the unexpired term of Ms. West.
I'll make a motion, we go ahead and, get Ms. Reitenberg.
Okay, have a motion?
You'll separate, I don't see.
Got a motion and a second, any discussion on the motion? Mr. Clark?
Yes.
And the chair votes yes. I have nothing else on the agenda. I have no one else to sign in. Is there anyone in the audience that would like to address us? Mr. Clark,
I have a couple of little things.
come on. I didn't see your name here, but I knew that you were here.
I didn't sign that.
That's all right, I didn't mean to ignore you. Come on.
Running late.
Yeah.
On July the 8th, we're gonna have, the Development Club's gonna have a cleanup day at Possum Palace and at Possum Island. And they would like to extend the invite city council, if y'all would like to come join us that day.
July the 8th.
July the 8th.
That'll be on Saturday.
Yeah.
Mr. Tharp, if they want to consider changing the date, the dumpsters are gonna be here the last week in June.
Hopefully, all the stuff be thrown away at that time, I think.
Okay, good deal then.
Now, I overheard a conversation earlier, but we went down there to clean up for a Shallow Baptist Church had a one-day Bible school or something. And we was down there helping clean that up. And the same stuff that we took out the room for Fun Day last year and moved out, put it back in.
It's in the dumpster now.
Well, but I got a concern now. The room on the east side, it's a little plumbing. What is all that? They said it laid out on the floor.
Plumbing?
Uh-huh.
I don't know about that.
Well, I do realize in about 3 weeks it'll be passed. It's got to be gone. I hope it's gone by July 8th.
Marcy will do a work order for them to get it.
Did he say, did you say plumbing?
Plumbing.
Well, we had plumbing in that new construction. I don't know how long they've been there. It could have been left over from a contractor or something. I haven't been in the rooms. I've been to look around the building, but I haven't been in the rooms. I can't, I don't know.
With all the buildings, that day we was down there planting the shrubs. The bathrooms was open. All the doors except for the door of that one room on the east side was open. All doors.
Well, I think Marcy gave Miss Gother a key for that, didn't you? For the Possum Palace, for that.
Miss Crawford wasn't there with us that day.
She got a key for something.
This when the garden club went planting the shrubs.
Oh, garden club, I don't know about that then.
What day was it?
On a Saturday. Now, I don't know why they unlocked that, it's unusual, I've never seen that. But there's nothing in there anybody won't.
No.
I want to bring your attention to that plumbing stuff, I don't know what it is.
We'll get a work order on that.
But on the 8th, we will check the lights, plugs, clean up through there. And at the same time, on the 8th, some of them expressed opinion, they would like to look inside the new bathrooms.
We can do that.
Could do that day.
Because we're gonna open those up for a fun day this year, where we'll have a
Nobody.
old and new. Yeah.
I think this points out again, maybe 2 or 3 times tonight, we as a council, we're supposed to be policy setters, we're supposed to vote here, and this is where our authority is. But, and I should have said this while those guys was here, and it'll be on the tape, and it'll be in the minutes that I did say it. But sometimes we've got to put our finger on everything that needs to be done and point out to somebody what needs to be done. Do we need that person to be doing it? Do we need somebody else that can see things that needs to be done and get it done? I will not have to put in a work order that we need around the Possum money.
No, you don't. That's something that.
Or mow the yards, or mow the grass, or scoop out the ditches, or open up a.
All you gotta do is ride around and see, you know, your eyes, unless you're blind, you know, but,
And if some wash is going on down there, it would need to be addressed before Fun Day.
Anderson Columbia is dumping us some old asphalt. Yeah, we're gonna put down there.
But, on those open doors, I wonder how many keys we have out.
Those keys are very scarce.
Which store was open?
The men's bathroom now will not
Men's
close, so
bathroom.
it
Well,
will.
it was broke.
That's
You can't
broke.
close it.
You can't close it. Now the others
You
usually,
can't get a hasp and a lock.
no sir, you can go down and try it.
The frame is bent, Mr. Tarr. The frame is bent, and you're gonna have to stretch it to close the door. I used to have to use a sledgehammer to beat it back to get the door closed. Then I got 2 years. And they said the frame is closed in on it. You can't close it.
What the contractor said.
Now, the two door, the women's bathroom and the two storage,
They normally stay locked.
they stay locked. They're supposed to be locked. The only one we can't lock is the men's bathroom, and the new bathrooms are locked.
Well, I went in that day and went through the room on the west side, across the stage.
Well, that should have been locked.
But both the doors on the other side was locked. I was trying to turn the power off.
Yeah, that should have been locked.
And the bathroom is unlocked.
That one men's bathroom, ain't nothing we do about it.
Not talking about maintenance, but talking about operations. Is that something that Steve ought to be monitoring, the building, the recreation building, the recreation facility? Not maintenance perhaps, but monitoring.
Well, yes, I should be going in there and seeing what's going on there.
Maybe he should be the one that's giving the keys and getting the keys back and checking who's cleaned up behind them.
Well, we started that. We started a deposit. And they supposed to put a deposit before they rent it, and then we check it before, make sure it's clean, and then after that. I don't know what happened there.
Well, and when the construction started,
Well, when the construction started, we
we did not rent it.
Right.
And to be honest with you right now, it would be a shame for the council to charge for that building.
Exactly.
Now, I'll go over there tomorrow and get in the room and see what kind of plumbing stuff and everything, and I will personally call you and see what was going on. I don't remember any plumbing stuff in them.
I don't either, because I was in there opening it up with somebody here the other day.
So I'll go down there tomorrow morning and see what's going on and then call you.
No, I hadn't seen it. That's what I was told.
Yeah.
I don't know. I haven't seen it.
You know, it's not it is not pristine at this point in time. It should be a shame to charge anybody, but if that's what if we're going, you know, if they want to use it, they probably willing to pay for it.
Well, charging them, use it and make a deposit for cleaning is a stupid thing.
Yeah.
You know, if y'all are not gonna charge them to use it, still charge them a deposit because the cleaning should be done regardless if it's done or not. They should take their trash with them, they should make sure everything's swept up and everything.
I know Miss Palmer was bad to bring pictures all the time. She went down there after every function and there was garbage and things like that. I think brought over some of the changes, but,
Let me tell you what I come up against with the Hendricks reunion down there. They go down there every year.
yeah.
I went down and opened that. It's supposed to have been clean. Was not. It was awful. I went down there also. There was not one single garbage can down there to put anything in that anybody had that was from a reunion there. And I come back and I told Tim, I said, it's unacceptable, garbage cans needs to be at that town hall. I don't care what Waste Management says, they're not gonna pick up this and this and this. We have a contract with them that they pick up city property. We have a contract with them that they pick up church properties. We have a complaint the other day from the Discover Life Church. Now they picked up one of the garbage cans there. They hadn't been. Doesn't matter. We have a contract that they don't pay whatever's there. They pick it up, you know. I don't know how it got this way or anything like that, but that Possum Palace has to have garbage cans down there. It's every day. There wasn't solid. I went down and brought some garbage bags back for that family to use that day and told them to put them in the dumpster. But I come to the city hall and I got some cleaning supplies. I went in that bathroom and done what I could. And I told them they would not be charged nothing for that day.
I understand that, and if we'd had that deposit, that cleanup deposit, somebody went down there 50% whether or not it's cleaned up, we'd have that $100 to give.
Which is true. No, I don't. Yeah, that's beside the
I
point.
know you don't, but, we probably need to start minding our house a little better.
We do.
Have we got garbage cans down there?
Yes, sir.
I went in, drove down around toward the swampy area down there, to go close to the building, but we got garbage cans down there now. We had a dumpster down there.
It's still down there.
The dumpster's still there, you know, and really, I don't know that I can understand we might not need garbage cans if we had dumpster, but you take something like Fun Day or something like that, you need garbage can stationed around that building.
And we gotta pick up the cardboard ones for that day also, you know, to put on the parade route and to, put down in the palace. We go over there, teacher gives us
Steve,
cardboard.
if you will do that, I appreciate it.
I'll go the first thing in the morning.
Thank you.
That's all I got. The other question that been answered?
Yeah, well, did you ask them about the yard of the month?
I've asked, can I have anywhere?
Haven't got anywhere with that one, okay, all right. Thank you so much. Anybody else have anything for Mr. West?
Talking about the garbage cans, can we have more than one at the cemetery? We only have one at the gate of the cemetery. We need one at the other end.
Actually, I think that we need one in each corner, of course, we got a dumpster.
We need more than one.
We got a dumpster, maybe we need one cat corner across from it, or maybe at the other end down there.
We can get it to the banker's department, put another can out there. Get waste management, pick it, maybe a fund, we'll get it.
Maybe on that north fence about halfway up and down or something like that, because over that corner, when joins the road goes to Anita's house, there's probably a wheelbarrow full of old flowers and things like that that's on there, and then, if you have that halfway down, you watch got some down here, there's a lot here, they wouldn't have so far to carry, and that don't mean people would take it there, but, I forgot, man, you asked me to do that, but I forgot. So, what else was I fixing to dismiss us, but I believe that's all. One more. Oh, I didn't ask Mr. Haskell, I asked Mr. West, Mr. Haskell.
One more. What about Owen Drive and Cora Lane on the road pavement?
We're in the
News?
environmental review now.
Right.
We will be advertising within the next couple of weeks for request for qualifications for the engineers and the administration of that grant. After that, we will go forward with the payment.
So it's coming along then?
It's coming along. Grants are slow, very slow, but they're working when they get here.
I wouldn't expect payment before the end or the first of next year.
We should be within, once we get through the environmental review, which takes a year, within 6 months, we should have contractors, you know.
Yeah.
But I just seen my neighbors down the road just yesterday, I think the day before, putting sandbags, you know, where water washes through their yard, you know,
Yeah.
so it's coming.
It is, it is. Thank you for being here tonight, Mr. West, thank you for being here tonight. We will stand adjourned.
Where is that?